Well, hello everyone. I'm so excited about this title or even this topic, how to get over a breakup, because this topic, wow, is something that we don't really talk about and most people handle it alone. But today we're going to talk about different things and different stages that you may go through, as well as different tips to help you get past a breakup. We're going to take about a good 15 minutes or so. And at the end, like she mentioned before, we're going to have some questions and answers. And I also want to repeat, you can send any of your questions to the chat as well as the text at 770-242-0001. All right, let's dive in. What is breakup? Breakup happens, most of you know already, but breakup happens when you and a person decide to separate. And then usually during that time, depending on the situation, one person or both parties may feel depressed or lose their energy, lack of eating, do not want to go out. They just or may withdraw, or even want to go to work. And sometimes most people, like, they want to talk about it, but usually they may talk with their friends. However, at the end of the day, they are struggling with life as well as fulfilling or just even thriving. And I want to talk about even the different stages of a psychiatrist. In 1969, Elizabeth Ross, she introduced to us the 5 stages of death. And be honest with you, when you go through a breakup, you have the similar feelings. And some people say it's even worse than death. Yes, worse than death. And let's talk about those different stages. Because of time, I'm not going to go really in depth, but I'm going to give you a little bit so to help you understand the stages and why you're feeling that way, and understand to feel those stages is okay and it's very healthy. The first stage is denial. You like, I cannot believe this happened. No, this is not possible. You have feelings of overwhelming. You just like, you in shock. You cannot believe it. It also depends on how the breakup happens. For some time now, a lot of people breaking up people on text. It's painful. Or they may say, it's not your fault, it's my fault, but really can't give you a real reason. And then we have people that just walk away. And so a lot of people, it's hard for them to like grasp in the beginning, like, did this happen to me? Or even a person that may break up with another person. They may break up with a person, they may feel overwhelmed, they just feel like, this is not the person for me. And they also may go through that stage of denial. Later on, they be like, did I do that? Why did I do this? Or they try to reconnect with that person, and the other person so hurt they don't even want to connect with them. So they go through like, this cannot be happening. I know we can get back together. And then usually that person may feel numb, both parties, when they're in that stage of denial. But this is normal. Please know this is normal. It helps you survive the loss when you go through this. And some people, may not even go through that stage, and that's okay too. The second stage is anger. You're mad. You're mad with the whole world. Anything that triggered the thought, or any person that talk about, or you may see another person in a relationship all happy, especially on social media, you may become angry. That is normal. Don't beat yourself up. That is normal because you lost something. Think about it. When you with a person, especially if you have an intercourse, that's what, or when you're dating and you connect with that person, or if not even intercourse, and you with that person every day, you talking with that person, you talking about your life goals, and you feel like you have a connection. You feel like, oh, wow, I can do life with this person. And then you find more stuff about that person. You realize, I cannot do life with this person. And you become angry because you gave your heart. And so that anger, when you breaking apart your heart, is similar to a marriage to a degree, depending on how close you became with that person. So you become angry. You become angry about the life you thought you had and you lost, which is normal. And then the next stage, it is bargaining. You go back and forth. You have a lot of ifs. If only I did this, or if only he did this, or you may pray a God. You say, please, God, if you just fix this situation, or if you will fix him or fix me. You go back and forth trying to find a way to bring it back together, because you're not in the last stage of acceptance. So you're trying to figure out, how can I make this happen? So I'm gonna repeat the stages. And now, right now, we're still on 3 because I know I can speak fast. But this time I'm gonna try to get everything in. The first one is denial. The second one is anger. The third one is bargaining. You trying to figure out, if only You wish you could make it happen again. Then the next one is what I spoke about earlier in most breakups is depression. A great loss is painful. You may cry, you may withdraw, you may do a lot of emotional eating. Um, the idea of similar things what you do with depression, not like a diagnosis of depression, but you because you have a reason for it, but you just sad. You know, you want to just withdraw. You don't want to be around people, especially couples, especially happy couples. Um, and that is normal. That is normal. Don't beat yourself up because you have experienced a loss. Your heart is like your heart is broken. The next one is acceptance. Acceptance when you realize, okay, my bargain is not going to work. You know what? It's time. No reason to be sad anymore. No reason to to be in depression or denial. I have to accept this and I have to move on. I want you to know different things in your life can trigger anger. It may not even go in the same order, or depression even after you accept it. Or you may hear a song that may be your favorite song in a relationship, and it may trigger that anger again. You're like, you don't know why you're moody, and then you realize, oh my God. Or a date. You may Thanksgiving may be the day that you met, or the day you met his family, or you or she or he met her family. It may remind you of, oh my God, conversations or certain words, or even a television show or even a movie may trigger you to go back into depression, denial, bargaining, as well as frustration at the end of the day, which is anger. So understand there's no order, and it may take time depending on the person when they get to that place of acceptance and able to move on, but just know it is normal. And later on, we're going to discuss when it's time to gain counseling when we talk about the 7 tips. However, just know those 5 different stages of grief is normal for breakup. And like I said before, some people could be worse than death because you still see that person. In death, you know that person's not going to come back. You may see that person at a restaurant with another person, and that could you go back through those grief process again. All right. So I'm gonna repeat the 5 stages of grief for you because I want you to write them down if you can. The first one is denial. The second one is anger. The next one is bargaining. The next one is depression. And the last is acceptance. Now that we understand the stages we go through when we first break up, or even a year or 2 for some people, depending on how long you've been together. And you also know it's normal when you go through these different stages. So you won't beat yourself up, but you start doing things to help you come out of the stages. I always recommend self-care, implement self-care. Not just physical self-care, but I'm talking about emotional self-care, mental health self-care, as well as physical self-care. Do what you have to do to help you move forward, as well as change your thought pattern concerning the relationships. There are 7 tips I want to give to you to implement after you break up. Because you want to isolate yourself, the first thing I want you to do is say yes to every social invitation. Even if you don't want to feel like going. You need to get around people, start laughing. You don't have to go into couple. If people that want to do couple, no, you don't have to do all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about with a large group of people having fun, maybe eating, dancing, I don't know, going to a play, something to help you get your mind off, and also be around a group of people. That's the time you don't isolate yourself, because that's what you usually want to do. I also encourage nourish your body with water and food, because during that time, a lot of people don't want to eat or don't overeat. Stay away from junk. Stay away from that ice cream. Most shows, they have that person eating that ice cream. Stay away from any junk food because you don't need that. Because of that time, because your body, because you are a higher level of stress, even though you're not even aware of it, your immune system is lower during that time. So you need to stay away from sugars because that will hurt you even the more. So I encourage you healthy foods. Eat as much as you want with healthy food. You can eat 3 bags of salad if you want to with healthy foods if you do emotional eating. So at the end of the day, you won't hurt yourself. The next one, I encourage you to connect with old friends. Most of the time when you're dating, you don't even see your friends. You so into that person. You know what, I'm with that person, and they may call you like, not this time, with my friend. You need to rekindle those relationships and let them know what happened. Like, oh, because they will be there for you. They may be mad with you at first because you may diss them a couple of times. However, the key thing is reconnecting with those friends because they will be there for you. They understand, because I promise you they've been through it too. The next one is get a new look. Don't go extreme with it. Some people may cut all their hair off. Let me shave their hair off because they're in so much pain. Not that extreme. You may, just get a new look for you, not so you can attract another person, but for you. You know what? I'm not going to allow this person to steal who I am, or most of all, steal my joy. I know who I am, and you start talking about who you start speaking affirmations of, and remind yourself your value of who you are, and just do it for yourself. The next one, after you get to that place of acceptance, start dating. Not until you get to acceptance. Don't start dating when you're depressed, because you may choose the wrong person, similar to the person you had. Take time to identify the why, because that's the bargaining. That's why I say it's great, because you're going to go through, if I did this, if I did that. You're going to you'll be able to assess that relationship. You also able to identify what you don't want and what you do want. But if you're still in that stage of depression or anger, you may select the same exact person. So I encourage you to work on and identify why it did not work. And then I encourage you to find or identify the things you liked about that person and what you dislike. And that'll help you, even if you go at it again, how to select the right person. But understand what stage you're in and being able to identify. That's why I repeated the stages over and over again, because you need to understand your emotional state. You need to be aware, because it's very important, awareness of where you are in those different stages. The next one is, depending on the relationship, I encourage you to not speak or watch the person on social media. Do what you have to do to block that person for a time period. 6 months or a year. You do what you have to do so you don't have to be worry about being triggered, because you don't want to go back to that depressed stage and it's hard for you to get out. So I encourage you, for a time period, just, block his number in your phone or her number in your phone. Do what you have to do in order for you to get to the place of acceptance. The next one, most people, to be honest with you, they do this. I can understand why. Most people throw themselves in their job. They do something that makes them feel good or feel needed or wanted or feel like they are give them valued. So they may work. And be honest with you, a lot of people create even more after a breakup. They create companies and it's successful, or they may write a book or even do something that allows them to know this person cannot take away who I am. And you see a lot of successful companies from breakups. You hear different stories because people are able to move on. However, even though I gave you these tips, some people cannot move on. And that's when we need to speak with a therapist, because we have to identify the trauma that's attached to that situation in order for you to be able to move on, and give you different coping mechanisms to help you. You may even do cognitive behavior therapy. That's a great therapeutic approach to find out and give you different ways to help change your mindset, to help you get to the different stages of grief. So that's when you incorporate a therapist. You may not need it in the beginning. Some people are like, oh, I need a therapist right now. Everybody during that time, you may not need it. Your friend can help you sometimes during that stage. However, but if you stuck, you cannot go to work. You miss work for a whole month or 2 weeks, or you don't want to be around people. You may work yourself so much you don't want to be around people. When you invited to social, you may have social invitations. You don't want to go. You don't want to talk to no one on the phone. Different stages you may go through depression, and it's a long period of time, and you cannot get out of that rut. I encourage you to speak with a therapist. Please speak with a therapist. A great thing at different jobs, if you work, most of the time they have therapists you can see like 3 or 5 times for free. So find out your resources to help you. And if you don't, you can also find different licenses. You may do like They have the initial session, just do an assessment to see where you are. And it's usually not that much depending on your insurance. I encourage you to check your insurance and find out the therapist that's in network. And there's also great therapists that's out of network. You do what you have to do to make sure you're able to move on. Don't allow a breakup to prevent you from being who you called to be. The next one I have for you, I want to talk about is, I encourage you, I stress this. When you do have a breakup, when you get to the place that you're able to move forward, talk to other people about breakups. And you're like, why? This helps seal the deal. This helps you move on and show how healthy you really are. And if you are able, or if you're ready for another relationship, talk about it. Ask questions about it. Read books about it to help you. Like, okay, I know I did this, I'm doing this, but I want to make sure I'm emotionally strong. I want to make sure when I connect with another person, I will not bring my baggage with that other person. Because you may have a great guy or a great woman the next time, but because of your past relationship and you bring what that person did to you, because you could not take out your anger on that other person, you find yourself taking the anger out on the great person that you may have in your life, and you don't even know how to treat them because you still carrying on that baggage. The key thing is for self-care is getting rid of that baggage. That's why you want to go through those different stages of grief. That's why you want to implement self-care, identify what you desire and what you need, and also know your value, and also value people as well as the person, and make sure you understand your wants and what you expect, as well as how you are willing to treat another person to make sure your next relationship end differently. All righty, let me give you some resources. I have 3 books, and you can find them on Amazon. Great books that can help you. The first one is called Breakups: What to Expect and How to Move On. It's by Kay Connors, Connors. The next one is Emotional Intelligence: The Breakup Book: How to Get Over Breakup Anxiety and Live Your Life. This is by Catherine. I don't want to pronounce the last name wrong because I usually do. Her last name is, I'm going to spell it for you, is Abbott. I don't know why I can't get that out. But anyway, the next one is Conscious Upcoupling. That's UNCOUPLING, upcoupling. The 5 Steps to Living Happily Ever After. The 5 Steps to Living Happily Ever After. And this is by Catherine Woodward Thomas.